day 2 of Mermay. It's late, technically today should be day 3. I don't know if I'll have anything out for day 3, but for day 2, I chose a prompt of manatee, also known as sea cows, and I thought, what if we made a mermaid who was a sea cow farmer? That's the entire concept. I gotta say, this one doesn't feel complete, but the challenge is to get as much done in one day as possible. I didn't have as much time. On one hand, I'm kinda happy where it ended up. On the other, I wish I could have done more. Honestly, the only concept I had for it was that, and I really had, like, that was the only idea, was I wanted some manatees, or do some manatees. So as you can see, I do this like frame thing, like I did a couple of the 2 other videos I did recently, and then I have like the manatees going from, like, it's starting out of frame and going in. It's just kind of like a style thing I've been into, kind of. And here you see me doing some like skeleton work. Skeleton being a pretty dang important foundation in character design, obviously. Okay, so rib cage, I use a circle instead of an actual like skull, a little shortcut. So the also dolphin. Ever seen those pink river nose dolphins or something? Again, not much of a concept was existed in the first place, but yeah, that was something. Was to have a mermaid be like a dolphin sort of thing, river dolphin. Also a bit of a cowgirl. Not all of them are gonna be female. At least it's not the plan. I do want there to be some like mermen. Another thing I wanted was there to be like some sort of herd dog or like an ocean version of it. Part of me wanted to do like maybe a domestic shark breed of some sort. But I don't know, it didn't, this didn't come out as good as I want, unfortunately, and I'm gonna keep reiterating that, I suppose. But I don't know, this is something I would come back to explore. Another thing I've been doing, I don't know if you caught on to this, is at least with the initial, I go back to, I don't use red for like a rough sketch. Arms crossed, I'll be, in the video you'll see me futz around with that. I'm not quite satisfied with it either. You'll see me struggle a bit here. Another important question or like a question for you, the audience, I have is, what would a mer person wear regarding clothes, and what would be like considered common decency? For fun debate purposes. Here. Also, another thing, is mermaid mammal or is mermaid fish? Okay, so I try to sculpt a bit more of a face so that way it's not just a smooth, kind of get like some chin and stuff. Well, maybe this isn't the spot, but it maybe later on. I mess around with the tail fins. Dorsal's the back. I don't end up being satisfied with that either. Again, you see me messing around with the mermaid the most because, for the most part, I already had planned out what I wanted to do with the manatees. Color, wasn't, none of this was good as I would like it to be. I'm just gonna say that straight out. So I went with regular clothes, sort of. You'll see. I'm getting ahead of myself. Doing some line right here. I do only partial of this one particular manatee because I realized that was essentially perfect. I had it the way I wanted it. So there was no real reason to change it, especially if I'm going to color over it. Basic blue. I wish this were like the first episode where I did more with the blues and with like the water, but again, nothing came up with it. Wasn't, well, yes, it was because I didn't like even when I don't go in with the plan, I experiment more typically, but in this case, here we go. Start coloring. I started off with a light or gray. Decided that kind of blended too much, or like it sort of was like too much. It was hardly noticeable on that blue, so I decided to darken it. Another thing I would probably like to have gotten done better is the manatees' color and also their snout. I don't think I did their snouts justice. The manatees are adorable. I say that about a lot of animals nowadays, though. Either I'm getting a soft heart, or I just starting to learn or begin to love animals more. I don't know. Even spiders. I don't even freak out when I see one in my hand. I'm like, the spiders, and I'm like, oh hey, what you doing? Snakes though. Snake is immediate reaction because I know they're dangerous. I don't know, I'm rambling on, you know. Okay, so here's the initial color phase of this. I do incorporate part of this, admittingly. However, I don't know how much I like it. Or do I? I might be thinking of a different one. Starting to second guess myself. Okay, so I changed the fins with color. That's what I did. Yeah, okay. Use MMD2 period 2. Okay. No, let's speed this one up a slight bit more. Super speed mode. Let's go. 44 minutes turn into 2. Okay, so here's the second half, which you don't realize because I'm merging them all together. So, coloring in the upper half now. I do have an excuse for my awful color skills, and that's because most of the time when I've ever done artsy stuff, I don't typically color. It's all black and white with pencil. So anything that's color and it looks bad, my excuse is gonna be I haven't learned with color. I haven't learned much about color. Looking at cute animal videos while I'm doing this. Don't judge me. To just solidify everything, first of all. To be fair though, this would probably be a solid silhouette. And you get some sense of what's going on. Okay, experimenting with hair. This was the part where I think I realized, okay, and then I thought about having like a western hat, maybe like a 10-gallon or something, floating up to the surface, but then I thought that didn't make any sense, so I quickly scrapped that. Then I tried some shadow stuff. It doesn't stay. Color Fury is something I would like to improve more on. Lowered the opacity, tried doing some other color stuff. I guess, like, color here was not, it wasn't going good. And silence for the rest of the video. Okay, then I try to figure out facial things again. Or that this is the part, I think. Also, later on I realized that this is a lower opacity and this is supposed to be a red. You'll see, maybe. It's buffering because it's trying hard. It's trying hard to figure out what I want it to do. So depending on how busy this week is and how much energy I choose to put into this, I may or may not have a video by tomorrow, but no promises. In fact, if I ever promise anything, that to me that's just stupid, because I don't do that. Of hair. I don't go with this, I think. Well, I probably do. I can't remember. Yesterday was weird. Yeah, no, okay. Yeah, I definitely didn't go with this one. So I wanted to try short hair with this version. You know, it's just not good. Not good in the slightest. don't know how these always end up being so freaking long. Like 15 minutes isn't really bad time in all honesty. Okay, so yeah, here we go. I also add gills, even though it's technically a dolphin. Don't ask me about that logic. Also, would it make more sense for this creature to have like newt gills that kind of like extend out from their necks? Or is that just me thinking weird? Coloring into brown and then white. Again, colors, they're kind of bland, now that I think about it. That's my issue with them, is they're bland. Nothing pops out. Nothing about this stands out in my opinion. Also, the original file, I didn't save it. I recorded this in 2 different sessions without saving the original Photoshop file I worked on. So this is the only existing thing for this right now.
Trying to clean up scrap wire I had in my yard.
Oh, and I fixed the crossed arms. Oops.
Some copper, some scrap. No. I'm gonna take. I got some that I'm gonna strip. I want to sell it without stripping.
Okay, I didn't explain this earlier, but clothes and water, right? So I figured it would kind of like float up a bit. Don't know if that's correct. That was just my thought process. No shadows on the shirt. Shadows below the shirt, I believe, is my approach here. So looking back at this, I made her in a weirdly busty, like, I didn't, like, she's thick and I didn't intend her to be.
It's right there by the door. Right by the door here. Alright. What was there?
I was kind of going for more of a tomboyish. I don't know. I try using blur in 2 different colors, to kind of like, I don't know,
I believe it.
kind of just like solid, weird skip. It's more like a transitional thing, I suppose I was trying to go for. A bit of the Simpsons yellow. I mean, it's not quite Simpsons, but I find it hard to find the proper color for skin. And I don't know if that's just me.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know if that yellow or that color works. In all honesty, just if this is gonna be a 20-minute video, I don't like that. I don't like that one bit. Thumbnail isn't going to show the best best I can do ever. And again, I can't even do a thumbnail for this one, not without redoing it entirely. And that would take some time.
Not yet. If I ever get a damn building. I gotta have a support group of people to go to the drive. You wanna go part of the chamber of
Okay, this is just coloring. See, I think you can see a bit of a blur right there. I might have undone it, but watching back, I think it wasn't the worst thing. Well, maybe I redo it, but I don't know. Shading, color. I have done line art the most of my time with this kind of stuff, so this coloring is kind of weird to me. Also, I don't think I'll do it this year, but if I redo this challenge again next year, would anyone be interested in seeing the prompt list I use? I might reuse some ones from this year, and I may not. Manatee, I want to re-explore that one because I don't know. I had my hopes up high for that one. I wanted it to be good, and seeing what it became was just like, oh. There was some disappointment there. Zooming out, like, the character is okay, I suppose. I wouldn't say it's stylized, it's just incomplete.
I don't want to be spending a crap ton of money. I don't want to be losing money because I don't have.
Thankfully, the paint bucket tool really speeds up the coloring process. I do some shadow under the arms just to divide them. I don't know, it's kind of basic. Oh, here I try to do some like depth thing, and I think I deleted that too. And maybe if I get a bit more with it. I think manatees are shallow water anyway, so it wouldn't have worked. One of those ones where it's like I'm gonna rant more than I am gonna praise my own stuff.
I wish they didn't want so much for Governor's place. They want a million dollars.
Okay, so this is where I use the outer layer, and then I kind of just recolored it. So this dorsal fin here, right? That's not a dorsal fin. That was the original fin, and it's just now a different color. It's supposed to look kind of like it's behind, and then recolored this so that way. I don't know. I kind of liked what I did there, even though that's probably the only thing I like, just because it was lazy and quick. Okay, so this is where I try to do some like terrain. I wanted there had to be some ground. I'm pretty sure manatees are somewhat of a shallower dwelling sea creature. Shadows around a different layer. That's what that is.
Right. I don't want that one kind of do something that I can't. Right.
I add some ropes.
Why'd you put your coat up there, sister? Well, it'd be a good place for people to work during the day when it's raining. I don't have any inside work. I'll go today, you will make a mess.
Rough. And I think that's almost it. Yeah, I don't know. Kind of just a thing I've been working on. I think there is more. I do experiment with color. That's it. I add a bit of blue, lowered the opacity, get this color